Justice for Sophie. In 1993, Sophie Sergie was brutally raped and murdered. Her corpse found inside a dorm bathtub at the University of Alaska. For decades, her killer remained at large, but now more than 25 years later, police are reporting a major break in one of Alaska's most notorious cold cases. Sophie Sergie was visiting the University of Alaska Fairbanks when she was last seen leaving a friend's room to smoke. Hours later, a janitor found Sophie's corpse inside a dorm bathtub. According to police, she'd been sexually assaulted, stabbed multiple times, and shot in the head. Sophie's case remained cold until last year, when Alaska State troopers learned of the genealogy technology California detectives used to capture Golden State killer suspect Joseph D'Angelo, who eluded police for 40 years. According to reports, a genetic match has led Alaskan authorities to a suspect now living more than 4,000 miles away in Maine. Stephen Downs, a former nurse, was a student living in the dorms at the same time as Sophie's murder.
This arrest is the culmination of years of effort and tenacious attention by this department to solve a horrendous murder.
Downs was taken into custody and is being held without bail. And joining us now is CrimeOnline.com's Nancy Grace. And Nancy, what do we know about murder suspect Stephen Downs?
This is what we know about murder suspect Stephen Downs. We know that now he is a 44-year-old male nurse in Maine, that he has no other criminal record, but the most important thing I know about him is his matched DNA in the bathtub where Sophie was murdered, stabbed 3 times in the face, including in her right eye, and shot in the back of the head. She was sex assaulted. She lay there in that bathtub undiscovered for over 13 hours.
And Nancy, do you believe Sophie was the alleged killer's only victim, or do you believe that maybe there were more?
Well, you know, Jess, you don't just go from 0 to 60 just like that. In other words, it's hard for me to believe he had never committed a crime, and his very first crime was a sex assault and brutal murder. I find that very difficult to believe, but the reality is his DNA has not popped up anywhere else within the DNA database or within the genealogy sites that cops have looked at. That's how they got him, with Golden State Killer type DNA techniques. But that doesn't mean he's not offended before. I think it boils down to this. If he knew the victim, Sophie, then I would say that was an isolated incident. If he did not know her and there was no link between them, I would say he is a predator looking for his next victim, which says there are other victims out there.
All right, Nancy Grace, thank you so much for bringing us the latest.